the supply chain, workers, all those things. The Navy's budget request is for $788 million for the submarine industrial base in the discretionary category, which we will look at, but another $205 million in the mandatory reconciliation column. And there's always an issue whether or not the reconciliation will become reality. And what would happen to you if that $205 million was not available?
Thank you again for that question, Ranking Member. This is why we need the whole bill. We need $1.5 trillion for the Department of War, but also the $733.5 billion for the United States, the Department of Navy, because we just can't. I mean, we're prioritizing everything right now, and everything is a priority because we need unmanned systems, we need submarines, we need ships, we now need auxiliary ships. We also need quality life for our sailors and Marines, and this is why we need this whole bill. So whether you pay it as one bill or two separate bills, to us, we're agnostic to it. We just need to move forward, Senator.
I know
America First Voice is back with another hard-hitting reaction. Today, we're reacting to this Senate Armed Services Committee hearing where Senator Jack Reed, Democrat Rhode Island, questions Admiral Daryl Caudle on fleet readiness, specifically asking for an update on readiness steps across the Navy. Let me tell you, patriots, this hearing underscores the critical importance of our submarine force and the real progress being made under President Trump to accelerate production and restore American naval dominance against China. If you believe America must have the strongest, most modern Navy in the world to protect our sea lanes, deter China, and project power globally, smash that like button right now and subscribe. Let's dive in. Senator Reed presses Admiral Caudle on fleet readiness, asking, can you give us an idea of the steps being taken now? The discussion covers contract negotiations for Virginia Block 6 submarines and Columbia-class ballistic missile submarines, timelines for finalizing block buys, and overall readiness across people, equipment, supply, training, and ordnance. Officials highlight that the budget is funding readiness accounts at around 95%, described as strong performance, while pushing for faster acquisition and industrial base improvements. Here's my unfiltered take as a right-wing patriot and constitutional conservative.
But thank you both, and appreciate your service. Senator Reed, you are recognized. Welcome back.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And gentlemen, thank you for your testimony and also for your service to the nation in many different capacities. Secretary Caudle, the latest update we received from the Navy about 2 weeks ago is that the contract negotiations for the Virginia Block 6 boats, FY 25 to 29, 10 boats, and for the Columbia Build 2 boats from FY 26 to 30, 5 boats, are very close to being finalized. What is the status of this contract? When will they be completed? Do you have an idea?
Ranking Member, thank you for the question. We're trying to accelerate the block buys and also accelerate the actual production of the submarines as well. That's why Vice Admiral Goucher has been in charge of the DIRPM. So everything's aligned underneath him. He has all the authorities and everything he needs in order to make these things happen and move and accelerate the production to the left. And I will turn over to Admiral Caudle to kind of tell you what our plan is for the accession of these.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Well, sir, I'll just tell you, we need to get the contract done, but we want to make sure it's, has what's baked into it, the lessons we've learned on poor contracting strategies, that we've not always been in the right position to have the right oversight and the right incentives and the right mechanisms to ensure we get them delivered on time. So there has been a thoughtful approach by the Secretary of War's team and the Navy team here under the PAE structure to actually get that right. I expect it any time. I can't give you the exact time, but it will be made, and we're just making sure that we get that contract language correct, sir.
Well, I appreciate that. I had an opportunity to go up to Quonset Point, and I believe it's retired Admiral McKee who is there, and he's doing a very good job. But the sooner we get the contract in, then the sooner the company can just keep proceeding ahead much more rapidly than before.
Well, sir, I would just add, I mean, I don't want to take any more of your time, but it does add to our, our ability to actually execute our budget that we have from FY26 in the One Big Beautiful Bill as well. So it's tied to that. So we are trying to get that done so that we have high execution numbers on both of those.
Thank you, sir. Another issue, Mr. Secretary, for the industrial base program, that's the supply chain, workers, all those things. The Navy's budget request is for $788 million for the submarine industrial base in the discretionary category, which we will look at, but another $205 million in the mandatory reconciliation column. And there's always an issue whether or not the reconciliation will become reality. And what would happen to you if that $205 million was not available?
Thank you again for that question, Ranking Member. This is why we need the whole bill. We need $1.5 trillion for the Department of War, but also the $733.5 billion for the United States, the Department of Navy, because we just can't. I mean, we're prioritizing everything right now, and everything is a priority because we need unmanned systems, we need submarines, we need ships, we need auxiliary ships. We also need quality life for our sailors and Marines, and this is why we need this whole bill. So whether you pay it as one bill or two separate bills, to us, we're agnostic to it. We just need to move forward, Senator.
I know you're agnostic. You want the money, but I would kind of rate the possibility of getting the president's budget in some form through as higher than another reconciliation bill, and you might have to plan for accommodating that situation. It'd be worthwhile to do so. Fleet readiness, Admiral Caudle, we talked about this in the closed session, but here in this open session, you always can do something to improve readiness, even in the calmest of moments. This is not one of them. So can you give us an idea of the readiness steps you're taking now?
Well, sir, readiness we look at across a typical acronym PESTO, which is people, equipment, our supply and sustainment, our training, and our ordnance. And this budget, it funds our readiness accounts to 95%. That is incredible for a service chief. I had to work very hard to figure out the puts and takes to get to that level, even though I love readiness. So this is ship operating costs, ship depot, our air operations, our sparing, our paying our manpower bills, of course, and our ordnance. And so I think this budget goes a long way. It's generational in what it's trying to do to ensure we don't have a hollow Navy, we have a ready Navy. And so there's been all types, there's all types of initiatives that we have, from record recruiting to works we're doing with our vendors to ensure we're improving ordnance production, to our fourth generation models to ensure they're actually delivering the Navy we can give our combatant commanders. So there's a lot in your question, but I'm very happy with the levels that we have baked into this budget, sir.
Very good. General Smith, I'll catch you on the second round, sir. Thank you.
Our Navy is the tip of the spear for American power projection, and this hearing shows why accelerating submarine production is non-negotiable. China is building its Navy at an alarming rate. Maintaining our qualitative edge in undersea warfare through Virginia-class attack subs and the critical Columbia-class program is essential for deterring Beijing and protecting our interests in the Indo-Pacific. As a patriot, I'm encouraged by the focus on rapid acquisition reform, fixing past contracting problems, and delivering capabilities to the fleet faster. For too long, bureaucratic delays, risk aversion, and poor incentives slowed modernization while our adversaries advanced. President Trump's America First approach, cutting red tape, supporting the defense industrial base, growing the skilled workforce, and prioritizing lethality, is delivering the urgency we need. The emphasis on getting block buys right with proper incentives and oversight is smart. Virginia-class subs are the backbone of our attack submarine force, and Columbia is the future of our nuclear deterrent. We must ensure shipyards have stable funding, workforce development, and streamlined processes so these boats are delivered on time and on budget. Deeper opinion as a right-wing patriot. Naval superiority is national security. The Strait of Hormuz, South China Sea, and global shipping lanes must remain open and secure. Weakness invites aggression. After years of neglect and politicization in the military, the Trump administration is refocusing the Navy on its core mission, warfighting and deterrence. We need continued investment in hypersonics, long-range fires, unmanned systems, and above all, more submarines. Senator Reid's questions on timelines are fair for oversight, but the broader picture is clear. America must outbuild and out-innovate China. Public-private partnerships, regulatory reform, and consistent multi-year funding are key. This is not just about hardware. It's about restoring the warrior culture and ensuring our sailors have the best training and equipment. Patriots support President Trump, Secretary Hegseth, and Navy leadership as they accelerate submarine production and fleet readiness. Demand a Navy second to none. Our economic security, alliances, and global leadership depend on naval strength. If this hearing fired you up like it did me, comment below. How critical is submarine superiority against China? Do you support accelerating Virginia and Columbia-class programs? What's the biggest threat to our naval power right now? Smash like if you stand with a strong America First Navy. Subscribe, hit the bell, and share with every patriot. We need secure borders, energy dominance, military superiority, and an unapologetic America First agenda. Stay vigilant. Stay strong. God bless our sailors and submariners. God bless President Trump. And God bless the United States of America, the greatest nation on earth.